Yeah, all right. Welcome to PapastachePop. So, we're going to focus on some beginner songs for beginners out there. I know there's tons of you guys out there that may have just picked up guitar, got a couple chords under your belt, maybe can strum a little bit. Now we're going to do a song that's still a very easy beginner song, but we're going to pick it up a little bit, introduce a couple chords, maybe a bar chord, a chord with a different note in the bass. Very simple things, but seem challenging at first. So if you want a little more in-depth stuff on strum patterns and stuff like that, that link below is going to get you to a lesson that is not on YouTube. It's probably going to be a series of lessons that's kind of focus on beginners and different strum patterns and things that you can do to kind of keep building up and getting to where we can start to play songs, easily, effectively, in time, keep a rhythm, all the stuff that makes it exciting. So, click that link below if you want an in-depth lesson that is not on YouTube on how to strum and some chords and stuff like that, and it'll get you going for sure. This song is awesome, so let's get into it. All right, so you'll notice we have a capo. Now, I believe in a lot of the songs, they may tune down a half step, so if you watch them play it live, it may look like the capo is up one fret, and it doesn't really matter. You're going to get to play with the album like this. So I'm just in standard tuning, capo on the 3rd fret. Now, this song's great because if we're beginners, right, it really gives us a chance to work on one strum pattern, and then it basically goes over all the different kinds of chords in one song that repeats itself over and over that we're going to run into when we're learning how to play guitar for the most part. So, here we go. Right now, except for the bridge, that's the whole song. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go over a D chord, and we're going to put our 1st and 2nd fingers, 2nd fret, G and E strings. And then with our ring finger, we're going to put it right there on the B string, 3rd fret. Now, I'm going to refer to 1, 2, 3, 4 fretwise, okay? We're going to hit from the D string down. Now, if you're a beginner, one little trick you can do is put your thumb up here and wrap it over so you mute out that string. Now, you still want to hit from the D string down, but it gives us one less string we have to worry about. Now, you just have to watch out for that A. Now, for our next chord, keep in mind what you're going to be doing next with your fingers, right? So visualize where the next finger, or this finger, your 1st finger, is going to be going to the highest string of this chord. And then after that, you're basically tucking all your fingers underneath that finger in the same fret. So all you have to do is move this up 1, and then you switch these guys till they get in there on the G and the B. So you got your 2nd finger and your ring finger, and now you have an A chord. Now from there, we're going to go to a B minor chord. And the reason I throw this in there is because you're going to eventually run into bar chord, or some sort of major or minor bar chord, and this is just a nice, easy one to work on. So what we're going to do, since we're already right there, your finger just has to go up 1 more fret, and now we're going to bar, and this is where bar comes from. We're going to put our finger across all 5 of the strings from the A string down, and then we're basically going to make what looks like an A minor chord behind that. So we're going to have our 2nd finger on what would be the 3rd fret, and then these 2 fingers are going to be on the D and G, 4th fret. This guy's going to be on the 3rd fret of the B. A string down. And then from there, you get to keep this finger again where it's at, and you just move your 2nd finger up to the top string, and you can tuck these 2 fingers to the 3rd fret of the B and E. Right? So for all of us beginners out there, it's just a great song because your 1st finger basically leads the way on every chord, right? And then we get there, and then it can stay, and then we're just shifting around basically using that first finger as a pivot point and then shifting the chords around that first finger. Okay, so a strum pattern. So it's one more time. And then, so I'm going down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now I'm going to go through that pattern once on each chord. Take that back. We're going to do that twice on each chord. Here we go. Now, one thing you can keep in mind is if you're having a hard time getting your fingers to the next chord, you can always hit the lowest note of the chord. So on the D chord, the D string, get your fingers in place. And that first stroke will give you time to get the rest of your fingers into place. So we got. And then you can do the same thing on the A. B. Now the B minor to G is great because you just have to get this finger up there and you already have most of the chord done. So even if you hit the top couple strums on the top 4 strings, you're fine, and gives you time to get those bottom 2 fingers in, the ring and the pinky on the 3rd fret, right? So that's basically the whole song. Now it goes. I believe on the 3rd or the 4th time through that progression cycle, it's going to break that progression and just play half of it, and that's going to be what is the chorus. So when you know the chorus starts, it's going to be like this. So you're going to basically play D to A twice through to finish out the chorus and then to transition into the next verse. Now the only part where that differs is when we go to the bridge. And the bridge is very simple as well. But it's going to cover a couple other ideas that we're going to do later on in guitar playing as well. So back to that D chord. Right, that's going to transition us to the bridge. Then we're going to go to a G. Now watch this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our first finger and move it up 1 string. And then we're going to keep our ring finger where it's at, but we're going to take this finger, and this is going to seem like a pretty difficult chord at first, but it happens a lot in music, so it's good to start to get it in there in the beginning when we're learning songs, because once you get it down, it's a pretty easy switch. So we're going from G to basically a D chord, but we're going to put another chord, or another tone actually, string, part of the chord already, but we're going to put it on top of the D string, or the D chord. So it's a D with an F sharp in the bass, right? So we're basically going to mute out this A string by just putting our finger down a little bit, right? Usually we want to be right on the tips of our fingers, but we're putting our first finger down so it goes over that A string. And then we're basically just hitting the E, D, G, and B. From there, we can just take our first finger down and our second finger up, and that gives us an E minor chord. We get to hit all the strings in that one. And then we're going to take these two fingers and move them down a set of strings and then put our ring finger back on to that A chord. And that's going to be our bridge. So it's going to sound like this. Back into all right, way to go. Now again, take it really slow, work on those chords, play them really slow, make sure you get all those notes in there. Get them really smooth, get that, just practice one chord at a time with the strum pattern. Right, I just went through all of them, but you can sit there for a few minutes and just get that strum pattern down on one chord, and then practice the first two chords back and forth, and then three chords, and then keep building until you can get that progression really smooth, one chord after another, and then just listen to the song for a reference point. Yes, way to go. Again, click that link below for that lesson that's not on YouTube. Probably going to put up a couple of those lessons on, just beginning stuff, focusing on beginners out there. I know there's tons of people out there that have just gotten the chords down and want to take it to the next step. So that lesson will definitely be a great segue for you to start strumming more and getting more in time and being able to switch chords, with some kind of a rhythm. So check that out. That would be awesome. Support the cause. I love you out there. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for checking in all the time. Catch you next time.